Terry, great to see you again, as always.
Thank you.
This is always the great time of the year, isn't it? Just the fresh start.
It is. I was telling the guys, we had our meeting this morning, and this is my 28th year being a manager, and I had butterflies. It was about 15 minutes before the meeting, and I was sitting in my office, and I had butterflies. And I told the guys that, it never gets old. And, it's so much fun knowing that all other 29 teams, they're doing the same thing we are. How are we going to separate ourselves from those teams? And it's fun to try to figure out how we're going to do that.
I never will forget the day that you were hired. And I remember thinking, man, the Indians got Terry Francona. I mean, that's a game changer. And
now 7 years later, it's like, man, I got Terry Francona.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, you have totally, and I know it's not just you. We've talked many times, great coaches, great players, right? But you have changed baseball in Cleveland from where it was to where it is now. How proud are you? And I know you haven't won the World Series, but if you just put that aside, it's not always just about that. It's about other things. How proud are you of what you've accomplished?
Everything you say, one, I appreciate what you said, but I would change it, the context a little bit. I'm proud of what we've accomplished because
right.
It's a huge we. There are people here, Chris, Cherney, Mark, when he was here, they've made me better. They've made me a better person. They've made me less stubborn. All the traits that a manager needs, they've helped put me in a situation. I say some incredibly stupid things in meetings. And when I leave, I'll be like, why did I say that? And Chris will give me a day or two, and I'll say, hey man, and he'll go, I knew you were gonna come. They just, I can't say it enough how they treat people here. Like if I was a player, and I'm talking about our front office and ownership, they treat people like you're supposed to.
They do. This city loves you. It seems like you have always loved being in the city. That's what you've told me anyway over the years. Do you still love it? Do you still love being in Cleveland?
I do. I've lived every year downtown, and I will continue to do that. It's so much like where I grew up. I mean, I grew up an hour and 20 minutes away. It's Midwest. It's the values that come with it. I love the idea, like when I leave the ballpark at night, I'm on my little hog, I call it, but the scooter, and the policemen are, high-fiving me when we win, or, that's the mentality. I couldn't do that in Boston, shoot. I have never tried to hide the fact I love doing what I'm doing where I'm doing it.
So you talk about the scooter and being downtown. Just, in short, tell the fans what an off day in Cleveland is like for you.
Rare.
Yeah.
That's what I don't think people really realize is like having a home off day where it's really an off day probably happens 2-3 times a year, just because we're either traveling or we're on the road. Half our off days are on the road. Most of them are traveling, which isn't really an off day. It's funny. People probably laugh. I usually end up going and doing something that, like buying underwear or T-shirts, because it's something I can't do, and you get to be a normal person for a day, and you love it. The one thing I haven't mastered, and I probably never will, I can't turn my motor off. I can't fully turn my motor off until the season's over, and then I just collapse.
You need someone to go buy your underwear for you, I guess, is what it
Oh no, I'll handle that myself.
Okay. Golf, how's the golf game?
It seems like every year I go home, I have to hit one more club from the same distance. It's getting to be embarrassing. I love it. I got to play in that LPGA event in Orlando, and it was one of the funnest things I've ever done. Now that the season starts, I'm done. Golf is for the off season. We're here now. I only have so much energy, especially as I get older. It needs to go towards this team.
Quickly, you don't have to expand on it. Best part of managing, worst part of managing?
Oh, the worst part's easy. I think it's telling players stuff they don't want to hear. I mean, and that inevitably you have to do. I mean, shoot, we have 63 guys in our camp. 25 are going to make the team. I can't imagine anybody looking forward to that. It just, it's just not. I don't like it. I lose sleep over it. Spend a lot of time at night thinking about ways to be honest without killing somebody, because I think there's a way you can do that. The best part for me, there's two things. One are the game. I love the games. The games are fun, and I love the players. Even though there are times that are challenging, and there are probably times they're tired of me, but I enjoy going through things with the players.
What would you do different looking back at the last, let's say, 3 years? Is there anything you would have done different in those 3 years?
Oh, man. I mean, if I sat here and said no, that would make it seem like I'm infallible. I'm not. I far from it. You know, when you don't get to your final goal, it hurts. I mean, in 2016, the pride won out over the sadness of losing, just because I thought our guys gave above and beyond. I thought in 17, I thought we lost an opportunity. You know, we had a good opportunity. And then last year, I thought we got beat by a better team. So every year it's a little bit different, but that's why we start up again now. And one of our goals has to be valuing what it takes to succeed more than all the other teams. And that is so hard to do. There's 29 other teams out there doing exactly what we're doing. We have to find ways to separate ourselves.
Do you believe in the plan that is happening right now? I mean, you've lost a lot of players. A lot of new players have come in. Do you believe in the plan, and what's your message for the city of Cleveland?
I do. I really do. And we do things together. We collaborate a lot. You know, at some point when you're however you want, mid-market, small market, whatever you want to call it, you know, Kansas City was a victim of their success. You know, they went to the World Series, they won the World Series, then they had to start up again. Detroit, same thing. Minnesota's gone through it. White Sox have gone through it. We're trying to keep our window. We're trying to be consistently good. That is hard. It's harder when you're in a smaller market. So we're trying to get a little bit younger. With that comes a little bit more financial control, so we don't have to just tear it down and start over. We want to be good. Nobody wants to give up a year or 2 or 3. That's not what we're here for. We're here to win. Great
rotation. You got Lindor and Ramirez and other guys. I mean, you still have the horses to ride this to a World Series.
I actually thought, and again, I have a bird's eye view because I'm at the winter meetings. I thought Chris and Cherney and his guys, I thought they kind of pulled a rabbit out of a hat. By that I mean, you know, we lost Edwin, but we got Santana and we got Bowers back. So we saved, I don't know, 20 million, whatever we saved, but we got players back that we really like. I was amazed at that they were able to do that.
So I want to get a little lighthearted here. You still have the Tito and Son pasta sauce, right?
Yeah, that won't go away. And I, to be honest with you, it's not something that I spend a ton of time on. I was approached with a way to do something for charity. Anytime we can do something to help somebody, I'm good to go. So I just tell the guys, hey, make sure you run it right and make sure the money goes to charity.
So Holly Strano has a question for you. She wants to know, do you ever cook for the players?
For the players?
Yeah.
No. For myself, yes. No, the players, I think they would probably draw the line, you know. But I definitely cook for myself. I'm a big stir-fry guy.
Stir-fry?
In fact, in my new house, I have a new, what do you call that, like a teppanyaki thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. What's your other go-to besides stir-fry?
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Yeah, because, again, there's you got to know your limitations, and you get tired of throwing stuff away because you're not very good. So I do what I do, and I kind of stay with it.
Okay, Holly wants to cook with you at some point. So
that's what I hear.
Yeah,
as long as it's not 4 in the morning, we can work around that a little bit.
I love it. Before I let you go, I want to bring this back full circle. And you know, like I said, you're a game changer. Why do you think in your career you have been so successful?
You know what? There's one area in my life that I will brag about. And I think I've set the record for being around good people. Seems like everywhere I go, I think, like I said, I think I've set the record. I've been so fortunate to be put in position. I'm a baseball lifer, and I know that. but I've been put in positions where I've been around some extraordinary players, people, ownership, and I'm fortunate, and I know that, and I feel that way here more than ever.
Tito, thanks for being a game changer.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you very much.
Good luck this season.
Thank you.